Japan signed a deal with the United States to purchase up to 400 Tomahawk cruise missiles as part of its ongoing military buildup in response to increased regional threats. Prime Minister Fumio Kishida's government has pledged to double its annual defense spending to about 10 trillion yen or $68 billion by 2027, which would make Japan the world's third biggest military spender after the United States and China. Japanese Defense Minister Minoru Kihara announced in December a decision to accelerate deployment of some Tomahawks and Japanese-made Type 12 surface-to-ship missiles beginning in fiscal 2025, a year before the original plan. The government says Japan is facing its severest security environment since World War II because of threats from China and North Korea, causing it to increase military cooperation with the US, Australia, Britain, and other friendly nations. Officials said that in November 2023, the U.S. approved a $2.35 billion sale of two types of Tomahawk's 200 Block 4 missiles and 200 upgraded Block 5 versions. They can be launched from warships and hit targets 1,000 miles away. Kihara said that Japan and the United States agreed to expedite the deployment in response to the increasingly severe security environment. Training of Japanese service members for the Tomahawks will start in March 2024. Late last year, Japan's cabinet eased a ban on exports of lethal weapons, allowing the sale of Japanese-made weapons and components made under license from other nations to those countries. The government quickly approved a shipment of Japanese-made Patriot missiles to the United States to complement the American inventory. Japan is accelerating its deployment of long-range cruise missiles capable of hitting targets in China or North Korea, while Japanese troops increasingly work side by side with the US and other friendly nations, and take on more offensive roles. Under a new defense strategy adopted in December 2022, Japan has joined the United States, Australia, South Korea, and many other regional partners in an aligned vision of how to promote peace and prosperity in the Indo-Pacific and meet the challenges head-on. The U.S. approach to its partnership with Japan is one of ensuring deterrence and making sure there is no change in the region by military force. The Tomahawk Land Attack Missile, TLAM, is an American-developed weapon classified as a cruise missile, which is an unmanned jet-propelled aircraft that uses guidance systems to seek and destroy targets. The missiles are approximately 6.25 meters long, weigh 1.5 tons and can be launched from both traditional torpedo tubes and vertical launch tubes on modern submarines. Once the Tomahawk is in the air, the turbojet engine kicks in and its wings spread, allowing it to reach speeds of 900 kilometers per hour. The sophisticated guidance system uses a combination of GPS, TERCM, terrain contour matching, and DSMAC, digital scene matching area correlator, to ensure the missile accurately destroys its target. TERCM uses radar signals, while DSMAC uses optical images stored in the electronic system. As it closes in on its target, the missile drops to an altitude of 30 meters or less before impact. In layman's terms, this type of missile is designed to be used at great distances, with pinpoint accuracy, minimizing risk to personnel and civilians. What sets the Tomahawk apart from other types of munitions is that combination of size, speed, distance, and trajectory. Traditional saturation bombing, in which hundreds of bombs are dropped from a plane, is powerful, but not accurate. Saturation bombing also requires the use of a pilot and crew, which endangers personnel. Ballistic missiles, like the Scud, can travel greater distances at faster speeds, but require much bigger launching pads and a lot more fuel, meaning they can't be used as covertly. The Tomahawk is smaller and flies lower than other missiles, making them harder to detect and intercept. Development of what would become the Tomahawk began in the 1940s, but the emergence of the Polaris ballistic missile program led to its shelving. Technological advances made it possible for the missile to be revisited in the 1970s, and the new weapon was introduced by defense contractor McConnell Douglas in 1983. Initially, there were three types of Tomahawk missile, an anti-ship one with conventional warheads, and two land attack versions with either nuclear or conventional warheads attached. Today, only the land attack, conventional non-nuclear version is in use. Improvements have been made on the original design, and today's more accurate and more powerful versions are manufactured by Raytheon. The Tomahawk made its debut in live combat during the Persian Gulf War in 1991. On January 17, the USS Paul F. Foster launched the first Tomahawk missile, and nearly 300 additional missiles were launched from U.S. Navy ships and submarines in subsequent days of the conflict. The new weapon proved instrumental in bringing a swift end to the war. Production of the missile ramped up after that, and hundreds of Tomahawks were used throughout the 1990s. On December 16, 1998, 415 missiles were fired at Iraqi targets during Operation Desert Fox, after Saddam Hussein refused to abide by United Nations mandated inspections. They were also used by NATO forces in early 1999, during Operation Allied Force operations against targets in Serbia and Montenegro. More than 800 Tomahawks were launched during the 2003 invasion of Iraq, and other successful deployments include Afghanistan, Somalia, and Libya.